Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Commodity Futures report for November the 18th, I think, on the Friday. And this is the 10-year yields here. So we've just been looking at this in terms of an A wave, a B wave and a C wave up here for the yields. Or we could look at it as 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for the third wave and coming back for the fourth wave. So we've either got a top in here or we'll have wave 3. Now, normally in the first leg down here, we always just wait to see if that's going to be 5 waves or 3 waves. If it ends up being, it will be wave A or wave 1. But if it is 5 waves, well, then we'll have a correction and then we'll have another 5. If it only ends up being 3 waves down here, then we know that it's actually a correction and it'll be wave 4, and then we know that we'll get wave 5. So we don't know if it's going to be wave 4 yet. So we'll just wait and see. And but everything's pretty much going according to plan. Looks like we've got a little 5 waves here, so we'll see that push up and then come to, keep building back down. It needs to retest the supply. That's a normal thing. The market's a bit like water going down a river. It always, is checking to see where it can go the less resistant, so to speak. So it will retest that that area there, but I'll just leave that to the side. So over to the US dollar. So with the US dollar here, we're looking at this top here, and as you know, we've been counting down as 1 and 2, and then we've been looking down for wave 3 here with a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then we've been looking for wave 4. So from wave 3 here, we've been working different scenarios for wave 4. First we had wave 4 possibly over here, but it looked a bit small at that point and so on. So then we figured we'll look for a B wave down here and then a C wave to the upside. I can get it so we've got wave 1 here and 2 here and 3, 4 and 3, 4, 5 here, but I don't think that's the go. I think we've actually got one more push here, but I'm not quite sure either. I was hoping that at some point we would drop through here, and then this wave 4 here would be overlapping this wave 1 over here at that point, and then we can confirm that we've got a top in. But as it stands, this move down here, we could have it as wave 3 here, and then put wave 5 over here for that, and have this this here as an A and a B and a C for wave 4. It's quite a nice size really, compared to wave 2 is simple and sharp and ABC, and wave 4 is a little bit larger, 60% larger at least. So so I'm not sure if we have to go up here first, and that's going to make a lot of difference in various markets. So let's just see how that goes. We'll need to see some movement in here. If it was going to come down further, then we could look at this as probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So an ABC coming back up. So we could probably expect it, if it was going to be bearish, for instance, we could probably expect it to go back and test somewhere that 10,650 there, and then move down at that point. Or it's going to find support here and move up at that point. So it's a bit hard to evaluate that at the moment. But in the bigger picture here, the wave 4 is basically in its either finished or in its later stages, and that means that we would see a move down into at least sort of 10,300 area, if not further down as well, for this wave 5 to come into play here. So with the commodities, obviously, while this has been moving up here, the commodities have been sold off. So when this comes down here, we're going to see the commodities perhaps start to rally at that point. So if they come from this point here, comes further down from here, then we're going to see those commodities rally straight away. But if this has to push up here first, then we're going to see those commodities linger on their lows a little bit longer and then come down at this point. Also with the commodities as well, they've copper, zinc and uranium and lithium, they've all been sold off quite strongly. I don't know, I thought it would be because of the US dollar. The story I sort of read in the press is that there's a softening of the markets in the demand for things. But yeah, I don't know. It's a bit difficult for me to go with. I mean, I like information, but sometimes you got to read between the lines. So, but anyway, we can see some of the commodities really coming off. So, put that away. We'll move over to gold. So with gold here, we're basically looking at wave 3 here with an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here. I could probably squeeze a top in here already, but I'll just wait for that to play out at that point. And this particular pattern here is kind of the same pattern we're seeing with zinc and copper, and as wave 4s too. And they've moved right. Well, copper's moved down a fair way, and nickel has moved down a long way. So nickel is kind of the one that's leading this particular pattern here, because there's leaders and followers in all of these markets, sort of thing. So we'll see how they play out. So that's gold and silver. So last time we spoke about silver, we were looking, we could see that gold needed another push to the upside. So maybe there's another push to the upside here as well in some way, or something that that I've missed here. But I think I've kind of got it covered reasonably well. I mean, I counted up as 5 waves here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and called that top in there. But I don't have 5 waves down here so far. If we got if we got a nice 4th wave and 5th wave here, then we could call it in, because it would have an impulse wave here. But really, this here could be some type of wave 4 here as well. But I just can't see how it fits here. So we'll just be a little bit patient. We don't have, when we do have 5 waves here, if we do either here or from the top up here, then we can look for the ABC correction here, and then we can look to short under here, do all that sort of stuff. But we can't confirm that we've got a top in just yet. I can do it off the count, but I always like to confirm it over here with an impulse wave, and I don't have that yet. And I can see that gold can push up a little bit further, so perhaps this one needs to push up a little bit further, and I can't see where I've made the mistake here with this count. If I've made a mistake, it's probably this one needs to go over here or something like that. So we've got a 1 and 2 here, and then, but this is 1, 2, 3, 4. I could probably get those 1, 2, 3, 4 there. So that would give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there. That could work. So I'll just note that there for a moment, and that means that the 38.2% would have to come from here. It was a pretty small wave 1, really. Oh, but that really fits quite comfortably in here, doesn't it? So, okay, we'll just we'll play that game and just see if that's got a little bit further to the upside. I mean, I wouldn't short this without gold being in the right place as well, And the other point too is that, what about if I've got this completely wrong? But I'd still wait till we get to this 5th wave up here, and then anything above the top here we can go long at that point, in a bigger bullish picture. But I can't do that until this particular thing plays out, And this particular move here, when you have a look at nickel and copper and that, they're coming down. They feel like they're coming down now for some reason, for whatever that reason may be. But so lithium, we toyed with the situation of it being a wave B up here with a wave C here, and then trying to count this up here. This is just an ETF lit here. Hit the 61.8%, and it would have turned here even if it was wave 1 or some sort of ABC pattern up here. It could be an ABC pattern up here. This is a little bit tricky to read, all of this, and this is on 1 tick, so it's a bit hard to read. So I just thought what I was going to do is just let me see where the US dollar comes in, because if the US dollar wave 4 top comes in play, well, then we could probably see this pick up. And how far it picks up is also what I want to see as well, because we don't want to see it coming down here again like that. Do you know what I mean? So we'll pay close attention to what occurs here. Also the uranium as well, that's also coming back to this level here. So this is also a bit tricky to count in here as well, but I could probably count it as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here now for this. So it is, now that it came back a bit here, it is looking a little bit a bit corrective in this nature. Now I can't really confirm that at this point, but if I go from, where are we, 100 ticks, let's go, just go to 50k and see what it looks like. Yeah, right. So basically it looks quite nicely as wave 1 and 2 here, and 3, 4 and 5 here. So it looks like we've got some sort of impulse wave up here, and this is very much like slightly a little bit like iron ore. It reminds me of FMG, Fortescue Metals. It's kind of got a pattern like this as well. So it doesn't look that bearish at this point. I can see, you know, yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like an A, B, C, D and E here, like a triangle pattern finished, you know, but we've counted this up here as 5 waves, as wave 1 and A, B, C for wave 2, and then we're trying to work an impulse pattern off this low here. That's basically what we're doing. But the drop here just made it's like, oh, that's not looking good, is it? You know, I mean, it's got support here, and it might be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 or something like that, but because it dropped so much, it's kind of put it in a very weak position, to say, you know, to say the least. But the thing is I know that looking at all of this here, it certainly looks like it's you know, sort of finishing off here, but I can't quite figure it out. I was looking for it to be bullish because I know it's bullish, and you know, it will go up at first, but I just don't know if we get another move down here, you know, some A, B, C, D and A, B, C here for the E wave, and then push up, you know, something of that nature, you know. So look, all I can say here, if the 20 becomes the resistance, then any stocks that you have in uranium, you'll have to move out of them, because it will drop down to this, you know, down to the next level, down, you know, onto these onto this low here. This is, you know, on that trend line. It'll be down there, it'll be down here somewhere. It'll have a bit of an equality, like like an A and a B and a C wave here. So yeah, it's not looking good at that point. And then we move into copper. So copper hasn't moved down so far. Now what we had with copper is that we had this as, well, I originally had it as an A wave, and then looking at it as a, what's the name, and then it sort of moved off nicely. So I started to look at it as wave 1 here, and back for wave 2, and up for wave 1, and back for wave 2. It didn't really give me 5 waves here, but I took it anyway when I shouldn't have done. So yeah, we'll just see what comes out at this end here as well. We don't have 5 waves down here just yet, very much like silver, but if we do get 5 waves down here, then we'll have to look at a rally at this point, and then we'll probably come down. So I just want to see if we get 5 waves here. But like gold, we're looking at, like, this is like gold, you know, so the A, the B, well, the B in this case, and the C here. So we've got an A, B, C, D and E here for this. So let's just see what we get here. I mean, it could push up further, but today I know folks don't like me sort of flip-flopping around, and I get into trouble for that, and I understand that, but I also have to move with the markets, and I have to sort of, you know, if people have got, if people are long in copper, for instance, well, they want to know what the bearish side is, you know. So if we do get 5 waves here, that means we're going to get a correction, we're going to get another 5, and that means that we'll probably, you know, at minimum come down to the 61.8%, which is down here. So we can end up down there on that. So that's what copper stocks would look like at that point. But if it came down this far, then I sort of, it's a little bit tricky to, you know, to look at this anything else but corrective, really, if it came down this far. Let's see if we get 5 waves here first. And this is nickel. So I've turned this back into a, it's possible that it's bullish. You know, it'd have to be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then this would have to be, all of this move here would have to be 1, and this would be 2 here, but we're already at the 61.8% mark. And I had a bit of a look at this in terms of a 5-tick chart here, and it's a little bit difficult to decipher, but I would have to say that it's got more of a bearish consequence to it as a move down here. So I'm thinking that it can come a bit lower here, but we'd look for an ABC pattern here and then another 5 down at that point. Unless we got some weird thing over here with an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave over here, and we need to put this over here, something weird like that, you know. But having that 5 waves down here puts a lot of pressure onto this. I mean, I never liked this here as a wave 1 and 2 here. I never liked the wave 2 because it was too much bigger than the wave 1, you know. So yeah, so anyway, as far as it goes at this stage, we'll look at it as an A and a B and a C for the A wave, a B wave here, and a C wave up here for that. I mean, it could even end up being a bigger pattern as well. We don't know that just yet. And what I mean by that is that probably not, but an A wave here, some sort of B wave here, and a C wave back up here. But I just don't see that. If it's going to follow gold and the rest of it, then we'll be looking at wave 3, 4, and 5 down here to finish this off. This could also be a wave 4 as well. It's just hard to decipher, you know, what the hell happened with all of this here, you know. So I'm just putting it as a B wave for the time being, but it could be a wave 4 as well there. So anyway, nickel now looks to the bearish side a little bit, but it's not confirmed, but it certainly appears that way. Once we have that move down here completed, we get a bounce and then we break that low, then we'll be in a third wave at that point. Bit unfortunate, really. Okay, crude oil. So we talked about this last time in terms of we were looking for the bullish pattern, and I tried to be positive and bullish, but we could see gas was in a corrective bearish pattern, and it seems to be the same here as well. And I talked about how I didn't like this particular 5 waves up here as a wave 1 here. We have made a new high here, and yeah, we talked about being short. If you're short here, then you need to get out, you know, close to the $8 mark here. I'm going to take that out there now. But I have labeled this here. We had this labeled last time, but I'll just fill in the dots here as wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third wave. So it'll be the 4th wave here, then the 5th wave for the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. So we could have it as wave C of 2 here. So it could come all the way down into that space, but you know, I still don't particularly like that as well, but it did count quite nice to this particular point here. So we'll just see how this goes as wave 1 here and 2 over here, but it's such a long shot. But I know that oil can do stuff like this, so I need to play it out until it doesn't play anymore. But we should also expect it to be a little bit weaker. I was looking at just to have a look at the different picture around. This is the energy sector XLT here. Now I could have all of this here as an A wave here, an ABC for the B wave, and down for the C wave over here. That's possible, but it does seem to count better as 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. So this is, I could possibly put that in here, but I think there's a little bit more to go in here. I think there's like a little 3, 4, 5 to go in here for this, and then we'll have an ABC pattern here as wave 2 coming back. So I think this is quite interesting, and that's why I'm playing crude oil out right into this little area through here. And one of the main constituents in this here is ExxonMobil. So with ExxonMobil here, we're looking at the same, I'm just on 1,000 ticks here, so the same thing as 1 and 2. And then here you can clearly see we've got 5 waves up for 1 and 2, and then the third wave for 3 and 4. I could put wave 5 sitting on here, on this top here, but it's a little bit short compared to these guys. So I think that we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here to finish off, and then we'll pull back. So we can pull back into wave 2 at that point, and that's when it becomes a little bit interesting at that point, as a 61.8% mark from this low to, I'll take it to 120, but you can make adjustments, but back into this space at that point. May not come that far back, but that's what we'll be sort of looking for. So just to say that I'm looking at these oil stocks and the ETF, which is oil stocks as well, on the more positive side. And that means that I really need to keep, that's why I'm keeping crude oil as positive as I can, you know, but we're taking it to the nth degree, so it could, you know, because here we'll be looking for wave 4, and then wave 5 will come down to here, wave 4 will come to here, wave 5 will come down to here somewhere, in here somewhere. I was looking at the 7 or 8 here, and then we want to see it move up from that point. So it'll sort of finish off like that. That's if it is, you know, could make a complete idiot of me, but that's, you know, we need to drag it out to its last possible point here, because we know that it's kind of, you know, the whole thing can be bullish. We know that the pattern is pretty much bullish as well. I don't know what chart I've labeled in here, but if we just go to maybe a daily chart and have a bit of a look. I probably haven't updated it since a long time, but yeah, so, but it doesn't really matter. We're just basically looking at this here as an A and a B and a C wave here, and it's, you know, chugging along, doesn't want to go any further here, and starts to pop up here. But we looked at it as 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 over here, and wave 4 over here, and we move that and that. So yeah, we've just been looking at it in different ways. We would turn, you know, positive on this once we had the 90 as the support, but we just never got it, you know. Yeah, so we'll just let it play out a bit further, I think. Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one, but yeah, so I'll leave that. And over to the gas. So the last time we spoke about the gas, because we do this video every second day or something or other, so, you know, we know that this move up here is corrective in nature. So we expected, you know, the 6,500 here as a CFD, but the $6.50 in the US dollar terms, and we're looking at a triangle. So last time we were looking, I think we're down here, weren't we, or here somewhere. Anyway, we've got to be here now. So we got the B wave, but it turned out to be an A wave, and then an A, B, C for the B wave, and then down for the C wave here. So that's our B wave, and now we're looking up for the C wave, which is probably about in at this moment. I won't worry about it too much, but a trend's got a beginning, a middle, and then an ending process where it starts to overlap itself, and that's what it's doing at the moment. So it's quite close to a top there for that. So we can bring this C wave down to here, and we'll just clean this up for a bit of a moment and make this a bit better. And so if this is correct, if that is indeed correct, it hasn't really come back up that much. So then we should see some sort of A wave, B wave, and C wave coming down here somewhere down here. And then we'll see our E wave come up into this point, something like this, and then we'll see it fade at that point. You know, I mean, I suppose I don't know if that's the top there just yet for that, so we'll just it's a little bit sharp, isn't it, bringing that down on top there. So we'll just see, can I see how that is there? I mean, obviously we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and that's probably 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, so it's probably to there, or maybe to there. So 1, 2, 3, A, B, C for 4 and up for 5. That looks corrective as well, though. Maybe it will go up further. That there looks a bit corrective, so we should push on down at that point. So look, we'll call that in here, but you'll just need to try to do that count there yourself and see how that's going. But yeah, we need to come over here a little bit further for all of this. I don't think that we're ready for this, but could it be any other pattern besides the triangle pattern? What else could it be? Actually, I don't really need those there. I need less objects on a chart. Making it all nice and simple. Keep it clean. We can see that nice balance point there yet. This could probably come down further here. We can adjust that up to there a bit better. Kind of looking okay, isn't it? You know, I mean, for what it is. Just taking it to there. So that's the 61.8% mark. So it's hit on that nicely. So that's all. It's probably the top there. So yeah, like I said, you know, you could trade that up there the other day, but yeah, not to do too much in here. We want to get over to this E wave of wave 4 here, and then we have to confirm the first impulse wave down here. So we'll probably get it on something like this. I mean, we could probably do a better job than that, but just to give you a bit of an idea, you know what I mean? We could sell it here. We could probably get a small position here, depending on the timing of things. But I like to have a bit more safety before heading on in. And having 5 waves down here would be helpful. You know what I mean? Then we can short the counter trend, and we could put that on the B wave here and do all those sorts of things. And there's a lot of refinement that can go on here. But yeah, I mean, normally with a triangle, you can kind of take that length there. I'm just taking that there. So from here to here, and then we just bring this over to here to something like that, to the E wave here. So we can be looking down just below the 5,000 here for that. So that's where the $5 mark. Sorry. Yeah, that sort of be like something like that. Yeah, I'll just leave it like that. I think that's about it. So alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the weekend. Cheers.